From the headlines that move us
to the plays on the field and the people making a difference.
It's news, sports, stories, and people that keep our community alive.
This is the heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
I'm Christopher Ingram.
And I'm Sarina Fazan. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
Hello, Sarina.
Hello, Christopher.
You're looking lovely today.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And you know, the one thing I do appreciate, Florida is seeing winter a little bit.
What, you got yours?
That's the winter attire.
What do you call that? A sweater dress? I think I heard somebody say that was a sweater dress.
Yes, a sweater dress and
Very
my
nice.
boots.
And your
you
boots.
know,
Very
I love.
good.
Yeah.
Not those aren't snow boots though.
No, they're not snow boots.
Well, we don't have any snow to deal with, thankfully. All right, so in Florida, we have school buses that are now outfitted with cameras on them on the outside of the bus that can detect and take a photograph of someone when they blow through a school zone or past a school bus that's stopped with the flashers on.
Yeah.
And there's a gentleman here in Tampa who's a magistrate that reviews those cameras, the footage that comes in, and then he just signs off as to whether or not a violation occurred or not. His name is Thomas Santarlos, I believe, and he has been reassigned by the county because he was kicking so many of the camera violations based on the fact that, to him, he says he can't in good conscience issue that citation if it's not clear in the photograph where the school zone began, where the flashing yellow light is and tells you what the speed is. And the county didn't like that. The sheriff's office and the county didn't like it. And they're saying, like, we just moved him because, when we all know it's why. But to the county's defense, they point out that the state law doesn't actually require what he feels like should be in those photographs be included. So it's kind of a mixed bag of controversy.
It is a mixed bag, and you know, I mean, you take a look at him because the citations are $100. So you know, that's a lot of money. And so what he basically is saying, that, as you just explained very well, that because of the way the pavement and the lights and so on and so forth, in good conscience, he cannot say for sure. And he's been at that job for a long time, I mean 10 years plus, and he feels that he lost his job or lost that position. And I want to clarify that he didn't lose his job. He was just reassigned. So he's still employed, but clearly he's been doing something like that for 10 years, or doing that position. He enjoyed that position and he's upset about it.
And I like his integrity, right? I will admit, I have gotten a red light camera violation before, and there's basically no way to contest it. I mean, you can, but you're gonna lose because it has a picture of your car going through the red light. The red light is clearly red in the picture, and the camera even detects how fast you are going. So all that information is included when you get your notice in the mail that you owe them $175 or however much it is. And there's really no way to get out of it. But this, I think that even though it's not in state law, it doesn't say that all of this evidence has to be in the photograph. I like his style. He's saying, but I, as a judge in good faith, can't execute this ticket when I don't think there's enough information included that warrants the person getting the fine.
I definitely agree with you on that. And it's not just him, right? But I do really appreciate people who stand up for what they believe is right. And he's saying, hey, listen, the evidence is just not there.
Right.
You know, so it'll be interesting to see, will county officials and sheriff officials, will they relook at the system again? Because I also appreciate that he's speaking up about it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it is. It's cool that he's taking a stand.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah,
it's integrity.
Do. Absolutely.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ybor City.
So many people. Oh, this was so horrific. The driver that drove through
Ybor
killed 4 people, injured
like 13 people.
13 people. The 4 people were.
This is back in November.
20s. Yes, this is back in November. I mean, he's facing really significant charges, but it certainly had a huge impact, of course, on Ybor, how we look at Ybor. Now there's some major changes being made. Yeah,
they're gonna, I think, reduce the speed. They're gonna put some barriers up. They're gonna narrow the road, make people drive slower.
re-brick the road.
Re-brick it?
And I know for you,
I hate brick roads.
I know Christopher's always talking about the roads, but at least they're doing something because so that's going to certainly help. They're going to reduce the speed too from 30 to 25 miles an hour, and all of those things have to happen, right, to make make
it safer.
Yeah,
make people feel safer. You're never completely immune to some idiot, that's behind the wheel of a 3,000-pound vehicle going 85 miles an hour or whatever he was doing on the interstate, and the cops chased him and they ended up causing this crash. But certainly there are things that can be done to mitigate the chance of someone being harmed, especially in a really high pedestrian tourist area like that. I think it's absolutely necessary.
And with Ybor, you and I have shared this before, there have been so many efforts to highlight Ybor in a more positive light,
right?
To make people feel safe and secure in Ybor. And then when something like this happens, all those years of effort, honestly, it's like, but we do have to make it safer.
Right. It's almost like Ybor has some bad luck.
Yes.
Because they have all this problem. They've had historically a lot of problems with crime, right? Gangs and stuff like that down there, and people getting shot. And then you have this incident that's kind of a one-off. There's really nothing that anyone could have done to anticipate this was going to happen. And you're right. It just kind of compounds that whole image of Ybor not being safe.
Right.
I remember the night that happened. My daughter was she told me she was going to Ybor that night, and I saw this story in the paper the next day, and I was calling her to find out, hey, you weren't down there, are you okay, right? And it took her a couple hours to get back to me, and I was kind of like worried, but
yeah, no, I can't even imagine. Right.
Yeah. Do you go down there very often?
I don't, and I really honestly have been trying to support, go down there and support, do things in Ybor, but oftentimes people don't want to. Like friends of mine, or even Sammy, my daughter, prefers not to go down to Ybor. So that's why I talk about the whole imaging. And I think as you said, Christopher, it was a one-off on this situation. The city has done. There's been incredible efforts, to combat crime, to combat all that. But when something like this happens,
it's hard to undo all the damage that one event causes. All the other things that they've tried to do right. It's really unfortunate.
And our hearts, of course, go out. I mean,
those people that got killed.
Memories. Oh my God.
I mean, you think you're going down there for a burger and a pint of beer, and the next thing you know, you're not coming home to your loved ones, or you're in the hospital with critical injuries. It's just terrible.
Horrible.
That guy's going to spend a lot of time in prison, I think.
Absolutely.
All right. So what else do we have? Voter ID.
Now this is, and I'm going to let you take the lead on this, but because there's two sides on it, right? Some people say what's going to happen, it protects the voter integrity. Other people say, well, it's going to make it harder for people to vote because.
Well, there are arguments that it could somehow suppress voters participating in the electoral process. For example, if they can't get a real ID, which is kind of the new standard now, and if you don't have a birth certificate, it's hard to get a real ID, right? And it has been noted that some people, particularly during black people from the Jim Crow days who were born in the 30s and 40s, that they weren't issued birth certificates and can't get a birth certificate, which is a requirement to get a real ID. I think that is an obstacle that could separately be addressed so that the people can get a birth certificate. I don't think that because a very few number of people might fall into that category that we should not implement a higher standard for voter integrity and showing an ID that is a valid ID based on state and federal criteria to enable you to vote. I mean, look, people that say, oh, well, that's not fair, or I don't have an ID. Look, you can't go to the doctor's office. You can't do so many different things without showing your identification, right? When you go maybe to pick up a prescription or whatever. I mean, there's so many things that require identification. To say, oh, I don't have one. Well, maybe for a fraction of a percentage of the people that may be the case. We should help them, work with them so that they can get the requirements to get a real ID. But this bill would say that, for example, student IDs are no longer an acceptable form of government identification because they're not real ID compliant. And also, students could have an ID, they could be from out of state, but they could have a University of South Florida ID, for example, and then they could go show and be able to vote inappropriately because they're not actually here. I mean, So
Right.
we're mitigating the chance that there's any voter fraud, and I think that's a good thing.
And all of this is, they say it's early. It could roll out as early as July, but we're anticipating 2027.
Right.
And I know the students, when we're talking about the students, I think some of the students are saying, well, gosh, I have, a state. Doesn't that count as an ID?
Right.
But no,
It doesn't,
but I
no.
hear what you're saying. And it's interesting. Like for me, for instance, I was born in India. So when I moved here, it was the birth certificate was written in pencil. And they got my year wrong.
Oh, no.
I loved it when I was younger because it made me older. But now I'm like, oh my gosh! But I can't even find my birth certificate now. So thank goodness for me. So I can understand those challenges because thank goodness for me now I have a driver's license, I have a passport, I've had, I have a lot of documentation for years that supports my legal, IDs.
Right.
But if you ask me for my birth certificate now, I mean, I have because it was written out
In
literally.
pencil. They wouldn't accept it written in pencil,
No,
but probably, right?
No, no.
Yeah,
no.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what's your thought? Do you have a particular opinion on increasing the ID requirements, or are you going to take the Switzerland approach?
No. I think that I appreciate the ID requirements because I mean, come on. I mean, you're right. You need an ID for everything. I mean, I think it's a good move to protect voter integrity.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement.
We're in agreement.
No
Yay.
Switzerland today. I'm a little disappointed. I
Oh
was
my goodness.
expecting Switzerland,
You were?
Sarina.
You were?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I look
Wow.
forward to your. No, I'm Switzerland. I'm not going to take an opinion on that today. You're awesome. All right. So other story, the Rays.
Very big, very, very, very big deal. Very big deal. I mean, just the whole, in general, it's a big
Right.
deal.
Are they going to stay? Are they going to go? Are they going to be in Tampa? Are they going to be in St. Pete? Right. So it looks to me, based on all of the things that have been happening, the interest of the owners to move to Tampa, Hillsborough Community College Board of Governors saying we would like to sell or trade our campus to allow the Rays to build a ballpark there, and then the Rays will, in theory, help them, find another location, pay for it, build a new campus. Now the governor and the state have gotten involved. The governor has approved a transfer of 22 acres of state land to HCC as part of any future agreement for the Rays to take over the HCC site.
So it's really interesting. Okay, for me, baseball is part of our fabric.
Yeah.
We love baseball, right? It's part of it.
Yeah, it's
and
like-
I have to say, people are going to be really mad at me. You're going to be surprised.
You're not Switzerland again?
No, I'm not Switzerland in this one. Listen, I went to college in Chicago, and experienced Wrigley Field, open field. Then, you have the White Sox too. I know people are going to be really upset with me, but I would like to see the Rays on the Tampa side.
You would?
I really would.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. You may not, because I would love to see maybe a stadium that might be easier for a lot of people to get to, including people from Orlando.
Yeah, for sure.
Or do you want to see it stay in St. Pete?
Okay, so I have I have to
Okay.
kind of separate the issue here. So first, my personal preference versus my pragmatic,
Okay.
concerned about the expense of taxpayer dollars standpoint. So personally, I like to go to a couple of games a year. I'm not a huge go to the games, but a couple of games a year. I used to live in Tampa. I recently moved to South St. Pete. The Rays Stadium is literally less than 12 minutes from my house now. So I would prefer they stay in St. Pete.
Yes,
That's
yes.
not going to happen. We just know that. That facility is terrible. They're going to move. So there's that. I think the location at HCC is horrible. The traffic is already terrible on Dale Mabry Highway. It's just a mile or so north of the 275 Malfunction Junction area on the West Shore side of Malfunction Junction. I think it's a bad location. I don't like it at all, but that's just me. It looks like it's going to happen.
But let me, and of course I want you to continue, and I appreciate your pragmatic side. I honestly agree with you on that. I'm not a huge fan of that location. I was really excited when it was potentially going, though, in the heart of Ybor.
Oh, that's even worse,
You
Sarina.
think so? See,
oh my
okay,
gosh,
this is
that's
really-
like the crux of Malfunction Junction on I-4.
See, but when we were talking about Ybor and the imaging,
Yeah.
I just feel like, a stadium there, I think, would really help uplift that area.
Well, it would in a way, but just think about the nightmare of getting out of downtown Tampa through Malfunction Junction during baseball season, whenever they have like 80 home games, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you now have like 15,000 more cars going to that location area than you do on a normal day, where the traffic on I-4 at Malfunction Junction is horrific.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God.
You want to add
Yeah, that would-
15,000 potentially more people and cars? I don't see it. I think to me, this even is almost not perfect, because they in previous years have talked about putting it out near the fairgrounds, which I think is better because it's less through the downtown, kind of core area, and it's a little bit closer to Orlando. But even there, I mean, I-4 on a Monday through Friday between 3 and 6 o'clock, all the way to Orlando is terrible. So I don't know. There's no perfect spot for it.
And I think if there was a clear, more of a clear option of a good spot, of course, there wouldn't be so much, controversy or on it. With St. Pete, though, St. Pete is beautiful, as we know. Yeah. I just think that I feel bad in saying this. Maybe this is the Switzerland coming out. It's the stadium, I feel, doesn't give you that experience of enjoying a baseball game.
Well, the current stadium.
Yeah, the current stadium.
It's terrible. It's a terrible stadium.
The current stadium.
But for me, the bigger issue about the Rays baseball move is taxpayer dollars should not be used to supplement and subsidize the Rays organization, a private entity, a private for-profit entity owned by multimillionaires. And taxpayers who struggle to make ends meet are going to be on the hook for building a stadium for billionaires. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You will never convince me that taxpayer dollars, despite all the promises from the elected officials, that taxpayer dollars aren't in some way, shape, or form going to be used. They'll claim, but this is for, special tourist development fund and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, but anytime you take that money to build a stadium, that's money that you can't use for other purposes that money was raised for, whether it's, economic development zone or tourist money or whatnot. So the argument that, we're not taking directly from people based on their property taxes is just bunk, because if you take money that's otherwise intended for one thing and use it for something else, then we're on the hook to make up the difference, or the pot that was moved from. And we have horrible roads in Hillsborough County, Tampa proper in particular. The roads are like a third world country. And we need to address that. We need to address stormwater drainage and other infrastructure needs before we start building edifices for our elected officials who want their name on a plaque on the side of a baseball park.
Okay, so let me just balance it out. I know,
Switzerland.
Yeah, being Switzerland maybe, because I know you're very passionate about this issue, and I love seeing that passion come out. I would say, and believe me, the roads, the stormwater, we need all of that. But sometimes I also look at the side, though. You have a stadium, you have a baseball team that a lot of people want to go to, a lot of people want to see. So then the tourists that come in that help the mom and pop pizza guy that's selling the pizza, or employing more people with jobs. So I also see that side as well.
There's something to be said for that. I recognize that. I'm a realist. I understand that.
So prior to the show, Christopher and I were talking, guys, about this, and we were debating, even talking about the story, because I said to Christopher, I feel, I used to, I wouldn't say know everything, right? But I followed it much more closely. And there's so many different nuances that are happening.
A lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts with this story. But I will say, I do feel the Rays definitely need to stay, though. There's 30 MLB teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays, of course, are based in Canada, but they're part of the MLB.
Right.
And it puts us on the map.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we do everything that we can, whether it's St. Pete, whether it's Tampa, wherever it is, that we keep a baseball team here.
Yeah. Well, and I think there are a lot of people that think the way I do about taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used, but I think I'm probably actually in the minority. I think it's a large minority, but I think at the end of the day, the powers that be, the elected officials know that voters, I'm going to take an aggressive standpoint here and say they're sheep and they like their sports and they're probably willing to accept taxpayer dollars spent to be supplemental and to subsidize billionaire owners of sports teams. And at the end of the day, I just have to accept that.
Well, I would say I am one of those taxpayers, but I don't see it as subsidizing the billionaires.
We could argue about that all day.
I know we
You're
could.
wrong, as John McLaughlin used to say.
I see it on the other side of maybe Switzerland or whatever, glass half full of all the other things it can do for the
Well,
community.
you always have such a positive outlook on everything.
Well, thank you, but we need the balance. See, I need you to balance me too.
Yeah. Well, no, but you are. You're very, a hurricane could be coming, and Sarina would be like, "Well, we needed the rain." But that's what people love about you.
No, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh,
It's true.
I don't know about that, but
All right, we have a couple of fun stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, also, we have to mention, we did a segment earlier today that we're going to air as a separate with Florida Governor Bob Martinez, who's former governor, Tampa native, great guy. So we've got that people can look out for and watch for on social media channels, on podcasts and Spotify and all that stuff.
And it was amazing too, because he's kept his personal life with his beautiful wife Mary Jane, married for 71 years. They rarely ever talk about their life, and he opened up about how they met.
That's because you convinced him to talk about love.
I am obsessed with love.
So that's a separate segment from the interview that we had for him for talking about politics and government. But,
it's fascinating.
Yeah. All right, fun stuff. TIA and some monkey. Tell us about this.
It's so funny. Okay, speaking of tourists and visitors, going back to baseball. No, I'm just kidding. No, so I think Tampa International Airport, it's like one of the greatest airports ever, don't you think? I mean, I love that airport.
It is. It's a great
airport. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Yeah. And their social media team, I feel they're hilarious.
They are.
Like, they do some great like satires. And the one that just came out, they just said, okay guys, no pajamas at the airport.
Like new policy, no pajamas at the airport. Because you see so many people that show up to the airport and get on an airplane in their pajamas and footies and stuff. Have you ever done that?
I have never done that.
No.
I have never done that. And they are of course joking around, guys.
Yeah.
So there is no official policy. You can wear your pajamas if you want.
It's just a joke.
I've never done that. Have you done that?
Hell no. Are you kidding me? No.
Well, all of this, if we take a look at it more the serious side of it, so much of this stemmed really during COVID, and COVID, it was more the relaxed attire, being in comfortable attire. Right. I mean, if you look, it really, COVID, of course, is a very serious issue, but it really also changed the fashion trends of the way people dress.
Right. They're coming out of the house more relaxed,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but to get back to TIA, they have done stuff where they've said they're banning Crocs as well. And I don't know, I can't remember a whole lot of the specifics, but I do follow them on a couple of their social media, and they're always pretty funny. What's the bird, the big flamingo? He has a name.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember what it is.
Is it Lulu? Is it Lulu?
They'll have commentary from the big flamingo too that everybody takes pictures of. That's probably I would bet that's the #1 social media photograph thing in all of Hillsborough County.
I would agree with that.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's so cool. They did such a beautiful job, and gosh, the airport's amongst the top 5 in the world, isn't it? It's
rated.
Rated top 5,
absolutely.
And it's world, right? Not even nation. I think it's world.
It's definitely up there. It's for sure. And it's just so convenient.
So convenient.
The restaurants are great because it's not just your typical, commercial restaurants that you get in every other city. We have local restaurants serving local food, local beer. It's great. It really is. It's a nice airport. I only have one complaint about it.
Oh, what is it?
You're not going to want to hear it. Okay. It's because I have to listen to Jane Castor every time I get on the tram to the.
Oh my gosh! Listen, that is one of my favorite parts.
See,
we are just.
She loves everything and everyone. That's what makes Sarina,
oh my gosh!
Sarina.
I feel like such a sense of comfort when I hear Mayor Jane Castor when I get on the tram.
Okay, we got another silly story.
Yeah, and speaking of airports, are you thinking about flying to Japan anytime soon? Because Japan is seeing more tourists going to their local zoo because of Punch the monkey.
Punch the monkey.
Yeah.
The punch monkey.
The Punch monkey.
Okay,
He's
tell us
so
about
cute.
this. I just heard about this like yesterday.
My gosh, he's so adorable. So little Punch was abandoned by his mom.
It was like a real monkey at the zoo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, abandoned by his mom. So the zoo, well, actually now the zoo is taking care of him. So they gave Punch an orange orangutan from IKEA, like a plush toy.
Oh, like a stuffed animal.
Yeah, like a stuffed animal,
Stuffed
a plush
monkey.
toy. And so Punch just carries around the orangutan because, he has abandonment issues from his mama.
Poor Punch monkey.
It's so cute. So little Punch is going viral. But okay, let me ask you this. So IKEA, we love IKEA. They're known for very reasonable prices. How much do you think that orangutan Punch, the stuffed animal was?
You asking how much I would pay for it?
Yeah, like how much did you think of like a stuffed animal?
$1.
Well, it was actually $19.99.
$20?
$20 for a stuffed animal.
For stuffed monkey?
How much do you think you could find that stuffed the orangutan now for?
Because of this viral
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, I don't know, probably at least double that.
Oh yeah, it's like $300.
$300
I'm looking some
for a stuffed animal?
For a stuffed animal. For a stuffed animal.
What the hell is wrong with people?
And they're just getting, from what I've seen, just getting this orangutan plush, just getting on normal sites are between 80 and 100. But on eBay, etc., it goes up to almost 300.
$300.
Yeah.
And it's just a dumb monkey made in China in a forced prison labor camp that you would give to a kid?
Well, the orangutan, yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
Now $300.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But the zoo itself, in all seriousness, has seen larger than ever crowds because they want to see Punch the monkey and his little orangutan stuffed toy, holding them around.
Okay. And you said, I think you were telling me earlier it's increased traffic to Japan
They're getting
to go to the zoo.
They're getting more tourists there.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
I wonder if this is a stunt. It has stunt written all over it.
Well, you and I have talked about this so many times. Like, you just never know what goes viral or what could go viral. It could be positive. We've done a lot of negative stories on it too. It's just
Has anyone from TIA recently gone to work for that zoo? Because TIA, they know how to do the social media stuff.
They sure do.
All right,
You're making a great point, Christopher Ingram.
Okay, we're gonna have a little production stop here because I forgot to get something that I want to give you.
Really?
Really?
Oh my!
So I'm gonna get up and go
Wait.
get it. We're gonna keep the cameras rolling, but you're gonna have to sit here awkwardly for like 2 seconds while I go get it.
I love surprises.
I know you like surprises. You're gonna love it.
Oh my gosh!
All right,
Okay,
hang
well,
on. I'll be right back.
Well, Christopher gets it. I mean, I just love surprises. This whole surprise thing. And if we're going to continue rolling, I got to give a shout out to Alessia Capella, our wonderful production assistant, who helps us come up with some of these great stories.
Now you have to close your
Okay,
eyes
all right,
and hold
okay.
your hand out.
Okay.
Hold your hand out. In honor of your always just being there to take a strong stand for what you believe in, I hereby present you this flag of Switzerland. Because she really doesn't always take that strong stand, but she's like Switzerland, which is neutral, and you're neutral, and that's what we love about you.
Can you hear that? I just laughed so hard that I snorted. Christopher Ingram, I just love you. Can we make this part of the show where that I could raise my Switzerland flag?
Better than that, it came with two, so we can actually put one on the front of your car. You can look like a Swiss diplomat driving around. Oh, look, here comes Sarina.
I love you,
girl.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
Switzerland, knocked your flag over.
You are the best. You are the best.
We have fun.
We have so much fun.
Every story shared
Adds another heartbeat to Tampa Bay.
from courage to community.
We are so proud to tell the stories that keep our neighborhood strong.
Thanks for watching The Heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious.
I brought it out. I totally forgot to bring it over here.
Oh my gosh, I love